So, how do I go from this to that? What you need is some tea, a brush, a mug, a water bottle, and obviously some hot water. We put a little bit of water, but not too much. The idea is that we want it quite dark. We are going to start the oven at 190, and I'm going to take the grid out like that with some baking paper. So it's not really that I need the baking paper, but if you don't, the grid of cooking probably had some grease residue, which is going to appear on the paper you're trying to cook, so it's not good. So some people are not using the brush, they are putting that in a plate and then they are dropping the paper on the plate. But I did not have anything good enough, so I'm using a brush instead. If you look here, this document is very brown, that one is not, but it has brown marks. So I'm going to use tea to make the mark, but I'm only going to use normal water. I'm not going to use tea on the page itself. But I'm going to use a lot of tea on that one to make it brown. So the temperature is not really important. It's just that the higher you get, the faster it changes. And if you want to have a bit of control on what happens, it's kind of important to keep track. You want to talk to the camera, Cleo? So the temperature is getting there, so what I'm going to do is just to spray a bit of water on both sides. And then I'm going to put it on the grid. And I guess we can put in the oven. There it is. So it's not perfect, but I'm using the brush. Now it's here, time to put in the oven. And this time we can let it longer because we want something which is really damaged. And in the meantime we are going to put this between some books just to make sure that it's flattening a bit. Great selection of book, by the way. I forgot the very important part. There. Yeah, I guess we can wait a bit more. There it is. Normally I should have cut the borders before cooking, but I can do that now. So, there we are. The only problem is that now this is very sharp, so we need to make that look older. So the next step is torture. So for the letter I use the sandpaper. And what I do is simply something like that to get the border a bit rough. But for the newspaper, which is supposed to be cheap paper, I'm using a metal brush. And what I do is that. And don't forget to damage a bit the corner, because the corners are always damaged in newspaper. It's okay if a little bit goes out. And don't worry, the one in the boxes are done much better, because I don't have the stupid camera gear in the way. So anyway, that's what that looks like when you're done with the bruised corners. That looks a lot more like an actual piece of paper. And you can of course forward the paper, because after all these things are folded, put in your jacket, and there you go.